This case didn't start as a serial killer investigation. For weeks, police believed these were completely unrelated crimes. Different victims, different locations, different methods. At first, nothing seemed connected, and that's exactly what made it so dangerous. Because when something looks random, people don't prepare for it. They don't see the pattern forming in the background. And in Phoenix, Arizona, that pattern was already unfolding. Phoenix is a city built on growth, expanding neighborhoods, long desert roads, quiet suburban streets. At night, many areas fall completely silent, and in 2005, that silence started to feel different. People didn't know it yet, but something had changed. The first incidents didn't raise alarms. They were treated like isolated crimes. A shooting here, an attack there, each one investigated on its own. But when you step back and look at them together, a different picture starts to form. The attacks shared something unusual. They often happened late at night. They targeted people at random, and they left behind more questions than answers. There was no clear motive, no consistent pattern in victims, and no obvious suspect. That's what made it so unsettling, because without a pattern, there's no way to predict what happens next. And without prediction, there's no way to stop it. As time went on, the incidents became more frequent, more aggressive, more difficult to ignore. And this is where everything started to shift. Investigators began noticing small connections, not obvious ones, subtle overlaps, similar times, similar locations, and eventually, those connections led to something bigger. A cluster of incidents tied to one area, Baseline Road. That's when the case took a turn. Because now, it wasn't random anymore. Now, it had a name. The Baseline Killer. And once that connection was made, everything changed. Police resources increased. Task forces were created. Investigators began working together instead of separately. But the biggest shift wasn't inside the police department. It was in the public. Because once people realized these crimes might be connected, fear spread quickly. People stopped going out at night. Neighborhoods became quieter. Doors were locked earlier. Every unfamiliar sound felt like a threat, because no one knew who could be next. And that uncertainty is what made this case so powerful. Investigators faced a major challenge. There was no consistent victim profile, no single weapon, no reliable suspect description, which meant traditional methods didn't work. This wasn't a case you could easily solve. It required time, patience, and a massive amount of information. Eventually, tips began coming in. Witness statements were revisited, evidence was reanalyzed, and slowly, the pieces started to come together. It wasn't fast, it wasn't clean, but progress was being made. And after months of fear, something finally happened. An arrest was made, but even that didn't bring full closure, because questions still remained. Were all the incidents connected? Were there multiple people involved? Was anything missed during the investigation? Those questions still exist, and that's what makes this case so unsettling. Not just what happened, but how it happened. No warning. No clear pattern at the start. No obvious target. Just unpredictable violence, appearing in places people once felt safe. And that leads to one final question. Was this truly the work of one person? Or is there still something about this case that hasn't been uncovered?